Buster, winning it all, is being brought to you by BOVV Bob Chevrolet. President's Day weekend indoor sale going on now. Children's Hospital, Clean-A-Car, downtown and our new location at Eastland. Spa and Hot Tub Outlet, the pink building on Indianola between Cook and Morse. And in part by Kroger. Shop Kroger for all your family's needs. Come on, let's go.
This is a live picture of the Windsor Terrace Recreation Center in the Linden area. 300 people have gathered to begin the day-long celebration of Buster Douglas's heavyweight championship of the world. Buster comes home to Columbus, and Columbus is here to say thank you and congratulations, champ. Good morning, everybody, and thank you for joining us. I'm Bob Orr, live at City Hall. Dana Tyler standing by live at Windsor. Dave Kaler throughout the morning will be along the parade route, and Dom Taberry will be in the parade just in front of the champ. We will bring you complete coverage this morning of the Buster Douglas celebration here on 10 TV. Here at City Hall, we expect several hundred people, perhaps thousands, to join us around noon when the mayor is here to honor Buster Douglas for his championship in the win over Mike Tyson. This will culminate the morning's activities, but first there has been a neighborhood parade in Windsor. There will be a big downtown parade. We will cover all of it front to back. Dana Tyler has been in the Linden area for the neighborhood parade and where the festivities are about to begin for the celebration there. Dana?
Hi, Bob. We have a lot of people here, several hundred at the Windsor Terrace Recreation Center. Look at all these folks here waiting for Buster Douglas, and this is the community where he grew up, so there is a lot of pride. Windsor Elementary School right behind me. You're getting a view from Skycam, and you can see all of the people here who have gathered. A lot of them have been here for hours waiting for Buster Douglas. Windsor Elementary is in the Linden area, the northeast part of Columbus. That is where, this elementary school is where Buster Douglas's son goes, Lamar. He is a 5th grader here. As we move around, we've got the recreation center here, and we can't get in there now. Buster Douglas will be there soon. They've got it all secured off, and then he and other dignitaries are going to come on out here beyond the stage right behind me and talk to all of those people. And again, there are hundreds of them here right now, and a lot of yellow flowers they have. Where did you get this flower from?
I don't know who gave it to us. Hi, Buster.
Excited to be down here for this.
Yes. I love Mike Tyson, but I love Buster Douglas.
A lot of people do. That's your boy, Buster?
Yeah, that's the boy.
What are you holding on to there?
Autograph and a flower.
Hoping to get an autograph from Buster Douglas?
Yeah.
A lot of people have their cameras here, too. Even seen some video cameras. The Lyndon McKinley Band is over there. That's the high school. I don't know if you can see them in the gold and maroon over there. Buster Douglas went to Lyndon McKinley High School, and the band will be playing here in a few moments. And a lot of excitement here, I have to tell you, but there was a little bit of controversy. There was a group of people who were here earlier in the day, and they weren't supposed to sit here. This area is roped off for some of the dignitaries, and the police tried to get them to go, and it basically turned into a squatter situation. They said they don't want to go because they're here to support Buster, and the children are cold, so why should they leave? And basically they are still there. This young man right here, what's your name?
Rashawn.
Say again?
Rashawn.
Rashawn, now what do you have here that you're...
Made Buster Douglas shirt.
Why don't you show us?
Yeah.
Now, who made it? Did you make it?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Who made it?
A friend of the family made him.
I'll help you out there. That's a nice one. You've got a different one on here. Let's see what you have on. A little bit of everybody's getting into Buster Douglas here today. And show us this one.
Bust him up Douglas. This is the Bust him up Douglas shirt. He busted up Tyson, you know what I mean?
Okay. All right, right behind us here comes Mayor Reinhardt, Reverend Troy. Everybody's chanting, "We want Buster, we want Buster." They have a program scheduled here, and Buster Douglas is going to be the last person, the person everybody wants. And everybody can see Buster in the background. He has a red cap on. There's his son, Lamar, 11 years old. A lot of people shaking the hands of a champ, a world champ. about Buster Douglas, a lot of these people, they're seeing themselves up here because Buster is one of them. And I was asking the principal of his son's school, and Joe Copeland said he is a normal guy. This is no put on. This is the way he was. That's John Johnson, Buster's manager, and they're trying to get everything settled here. But the program will include some kids from Windsor Elementary. A poem has been written about Buster Douglas. There's John Johnson getting the crowd going.
I don't think Buster can hear you.
That's Casey Jones from WVKO Radio.
What is he? Undisputed heavyweight champ of the world.
And the sun comes out at an appropriate
I
time.
need you to say it with me. Come on. Buster! 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 All right.
I can't jump off here.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're glad you could be here this morning. We're here today to honor a gentleman who has given us the biggest upset in boxing history. Let me hear you say, sure, you're right. Thank you.
This parade, we should say, is in the neighborhood because this is where he grew up. And they wanted to have a parade close to the people who knew him, as well as a downtown parade. So that is why there are two here today. And this whole event here is going to last about 20 minutes. And then if you're still waiting to go to the downtown parade, you have plenty of time. That starts at 11:45 at Grant and Broad Streets.
We're going to talk to Buster in just a minute, but I want to introduce to you the Honorable Mayor of Columbus, Mayor Reinhardt.
Buster Douglas, Columbus loves you. Somebody asked me the other day from CBS, they said, what does Buster Douglas mean to Columbus? I said, that's easy. He's our hero. He loves Columbus, and we're proud of him. Where is Mike Tyson? Still on his back. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you our friend, our neighbor, the heavyweight champion of the world, James Buster Douglas. You gotta speak right into him, real close.
I'd like to thank everybody for coming out and showing their support and appreciation. It's an honor, and I just can't express how greatly I feel. You know, the coach boxing team has came a long way. And without the help of John Johnson, my manager, I'm not much of a speaker, so I'll turn it over to John.
You know, really, when I came here, I didn't know I was going to talk. But every day, I guess I come up with a different feeling about what's happening and so on. But I've said this, and my thought this morning, James Douglas is not only the heavyweight champion of the world, he is the best heavyweight champion of the world ever. Thank you very much.
All right, now wait a minute. I want to introduce to you this morning City Council President Jerry Hammond.
Hi, how are you? I think
We'll be right back from Buster winning it all on 10 TV right after this. Don't go away.
Are you the kids that have the
Proud of Buster Douglas.
Welcome back to Buster Winning It All on 10 TV. This is live from the Windsor Recreation Center. Right now, during the program, Kylita Brown, she's a 5th grader at Windsor Elementary. That's the school Buster's son goes to. And she's reading a poem about Buster Douglas and also giving him flowers. Let's take a listen.
How much we appreciate you sharing with us and the way you manhandle Mike Tyson. The poem was written by one of our teachers, Miss Jennifer Key Miller. Columbus, what's that? Isn't he the man that sailed the sea? No, it's the place where many bow to their need to rejoice in your victory. There was a fighter from Columbus, Ohio. The word was out, he cannot win the bout. Many people call us Columbus Slow Ohio, but now we have the one who holds the new heavyweight title. The prediction to win was 3, but it took 10 to show many men he could win. Many said you was not a fighter. I don't know when Mike was slider, and you proved yourself to be the better fighter. To be knocked off your feet, many saw it as a defeat, but you came back to show it could be not a repeat. Round 8 looked like fate, but nevertheless, it was not too late to prove to all you are great. On February 10th, James was not the favorite one to win, but in round 10, you did Mike in. When you punched him in the chin, we knew then it was for the win. It goes to show, as you well know, not to put your faith in men, but to God. You promised you will depend, and he saw you through the end.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to introduce to you now Mr. Otto Beatty, Jr., State Representative. Otto.
That was Kylita Brown, a 5th grader from Windsor Elementary.
All right, let's have for Buster. One more.
That's one of our state representatives, Otto Beatty. Another reason why this is so important for this neighborhood is this is an area that has some problems, and they admit it. Problems with drugs. The principal told me a lot of days he can look right out the window and see people selling crack, but he says what goes on inside the school and inside this recreation center are positive things. They have a boxing program here that has been around a long time. In fact, Buster Douglas's father trained here. Buster trained at Blackburn Recreation Center, and that boxing is important, not only because it has helped people like Buster, but it helps little kids. It makes them feel proud of themselves, and it also gives them something to shoot for because of what has happened with Buster Douglas. There is a special presentation for Buster Douglas from USA Today. If you happen to see, look at that, they're holding up a plaque there. Monday's paper. This is a special edition just for Buster Douglas.
First of all, I'd like to congratulate Buster on a fantastic effort and a good old-fashioned tail whipping from Mike Tyson. Okay. And second of all, I'd like to present Buster with a replica of the front page of USA Today. The Monday after he defeated Mike Tyson. I hope this is something you can cherish for the rest of your life. Congratulations, Buster. Huh? Okay. He's got it. He's gone now. All right. Thanks a lot, Buster.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a host of dignitaries here with us today.
Including, as you can see behind Casey Jones.
Of course, we just heard from Mr. Hammond. Mr. M.D. Portman is with us this morning.
There's a picture from Skycam again to show you what's going on here on the northeast side of Columbus. A live picture. Hundreds of people in the Linden area at the Windsor Recreation Center. And they have been out here. It is cold. It is cold out here, mittens and gloves,
Genziano
but it
was
is
joining
warm
us.
in spirit for Buster Douglas. A
Jack
lot of people
Harris
have
of
said they knew
WCKX
him, they
is
know
here.
him, they are proud of
Mr.
him.
Amos Lynch
And
from the
there isn't a bad
Columbus
feeling
Call
here.
and Post
There's
is
not a
with us
bad
this morning.
feeling here.
Bill Douglas, Joe Copeland,
Let's move over here and
Clarence Lumpkin. And I'm not going to forget my partner here, Mr. Ray Miller, State Representative Ray Miller. Our next move will be to go downtown to the parade, and we hope that we can see all of you there.
I heard
Wait a
you
minute,
yelling just a few minutes ago, way to go, Buster. Why are you out here today?
Well, I came out to welcome Buster back and congratulate him on his victory because it was pretty devastating to see a guy like Mike Tyson get taken out just by a knockout. And Buster seemed to have fought well within his ability. And I was surprised, very surprised.
What does this do for the neighborhood here, sir? So many people out here on this cold morning.
Well, this puts a lot of emphasis on Ohio, Columbus in particular, and the Windsor Terra neighborhood. Because Buster is a product of this neighborhood, and it just shows how far an individual can go if he applies himself.
Thank you so much for your time. All right, the parade is about to start in 15 or so minutes at Grant and Broad Street. Dave Kaler is there right now. I'm cold, Dave. My lips aren't moving, Dave.
Well, Dana, we are along Broad Street right across from the State House, almost practically in front of the Rhodes Tower, and you can see Buster's fans are already here, right? Most of these kids came out just about 10 or 15 minutes ago, and the crowd finally starting to form here in downtown Columbus for the big parade. We have Buster's cousin back here, and what's your name?
Brian.
Did you ever think you'd see a day like this?
No, I didn't.
Never?
Well, as far as Buster and his boxing career is concerned, yeah, but knocking out Mike Tyson.
Never, huh?
Not never. It was possible. It's just hard to believe he actually did it.
Okay, thanks a lot. We'll be back here. We'll have all the complete details of the parade in downtown Columbus, and back to you, Dana.
We'd like to say. Look who's here right now. Let's listen. Dick Gregory, known all over the country for his work.
Great neighborhood, great city, great town, great state, but most of all, a great God. So we say thank God.
Now, it's hard to figure out the order. They did have some order for this program, but it's been sort of hopscotching all over the place.
All right, we're ready to go downtown and have ourselves
here.
one big parade today. Are you going to join us?
A lot of these people will be moving downtown. This is home of a 29-year-old hero, and we will be returning to our live coverage of Buster winning it all, the heavyweight world champion, a hometown Columbus man, when we come back. Welcome back to Buster winning it all. A little bit of snow falling out here. All the way that things do change, though. Everybody's gone from here, the Windsor Recreation Center, and we're all moving downtown, Bob, for the downtown parade, which starts at Grant and Broad Streets and ends at City Hall. That's where Bob Orr is live. Bob?
Thanks, Dana. I must say I love your hat out there. What a nice...
Glamour Dew, what do you think? It's warm. I need it. It's freezing out here.
It is freezing. It's about 32 degrees, but mostly sunny skies downtown. If you're on the fence trying to decide whether or not to come down to take part in the big party, I would recommend you have about 20 minutes to get down here. The crowd is starting to form. We want to show you now a map of the parade route. You can pick out a spot that you might want to watch Buster Douglas go riding through his hometown. And there you see with our animation, the parade will step off at Grant and Broad Street. It will head west on Broad. When it gets down to Front Street, it will then make a right up to City Hall. And at City Hall, there will be a noon hour, roughly noon hour, kind of loosely timed here, program where, again, Mayor Reinhardt will be on the stage to present Buster Douglas with all of the honors that are accorded to the heavyweight champion of the world. In the last 5 minutes, the crowd really starting to form at City Hall as people are very excited about Buster Douglas Day here in Columbus. In about 20 minutes, as the parade begins, we will be back to continue our live coverage on Buster winning it all. Stay with us.
Buster Winning It All has been brought to you by Children's Hospital, Clean-A-Car, downtown and our new location at Eastland, Spa and Hot Tub Outlet, the Pink Building on Indianola between Cook and Morse, BOBB Bob Chevrolet, President's Day weekend indoor sale going on now, and in part by U.S. Dental Care, home of the one-day denture.
Right.
Buster Winning It All is being brought to you by BOBB Bob Chevrolet, President's Day weekend indoor sale going on now, Children's Hospital, Clean-A-Car, downtown and our new location at Eastland, Spa and Hot Tub Outlet, the Pink Building on Indianola between Cook and Morse, and in part by Kroger. Shop Kroger for all your family's needs. Come on, let's go.
This is a live picture from the city's parade honoring the new heavyweight champion of the world, Columbus's own James Buster Douglas. He starts his triumphant trip down Broad Street. Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for joining us. This is Bob Orr live with our 10 TV coverage of Buster Winning It All. And let's go now to Dom Taberry on the parade route. Dom?
Well, we have the champ right next to us, and champ, can you hear me? Buster, can you hear me? Champ, can you hear me? First of all, what do you think about all this?
I love it. It's really exciting. You know, it's a dream come true, really.
The people have really come out for you. This is fantastic.
I love it, man. It's awesome. It's an awesome experience. You know, I just thank the Lord Jesus Christ.
Can you put it into words? You said you weren't sure if this is all sunk in. Is it sinking in now?
Say it again.
Is it sinking in now, what you have done, what you have accomplished?
Yeah, it's starting to sink in now, boy, I tell you.
Well, yeah, Buster Douglas, as you can imagine, quite a chaotic scene downtown as hundreds of people, thousands of people have shown up to honor the new heavyweight champ. Dom making his way down Broad Street along with the champ. Buster Douglas's parade started, and this was somewhat of a surprise to a lot of us, right on the button at 11:45 this morning. It started at Broad and Grant. It was heading west on Broad Street right now. We expect it will take about 15 minutes for the champ to make that relatively short trip all the way down to Front Street, where all of this will culminate with a celebration at City Hall. This is a live picture from our Skycam. You can see overhead a pretty good crowd of people and a number of units, 33 units in the parade. One of the featured units is the Lyndon McKinley High School Band, chosen because the champ himself was a 1978 graduate of Lyndon, and very interesting because he was on that 1977 Lyndon Championship basketball team. So it's really crazy, but it's a good kind of crazy. People have come out on a relatively brisk day to say thank you and congratulations. Of course, this has been a whirlwind week for Buster Douglas. Just last Saturday night in Tokyo, he said he was going to shock the world, and he did shock the world with a 10th round knockout of what they called the Invincible Man, Iron Mike Tyson. I know you follow the story. Douglas was down in the 8th round. He came back, dominated the 9th round, and then in the 10th round, put away the former champ, Mike Tyson. And ever since then, life has not been the same for this man who grew up in the Lyndon area of our town. 29 years old, now holding all 3 World Heavyweight Championship belts. And the world is at his doorstep. There has been a lot of speculation this week about who he would fight next and where and when. And John Johnson, the manager who is in the car there with Buster Douglas, told us, hey, it's going to be our call, and we will decide when that's going to happen, where, and it will be on our timetable. Originally, this parade was to have been taking place on Tuesday morning, I believe, or Wednesday morning. And Buster Douglas said he would really rather wait until the weekend when more kids could be here to enjoy all the festivities. He has made this everybody's championship to the extent that he has made himself very available. Last night he was at the Touchdown Club downtown. He has visited some schools. He's done all of the national talk show circuits. He talked last night live with Larry King on CNN from our studios here at 10 TV. And he has thoroughly enjoyed himself, but it has been an absolutely tiring scenario. John Johnson, his manager, told us that between the two of them, they haven't had 8 hours of sleep in days. They're running on energy right now, and they will be going, I might want to add, out to Los Angeles in the next couple of days to do some more talk shows, also meet with some promoters, and work on some commercial deals. Now, Dana Tyler has made it down from Windsor Terrace, where she was up there this morning for the neighborhood celebration, to join me here at City Hall. And Dana, as we look at the parade pictures, I think the thing that just boils over is the enthusiasm. People just are unbelievably happy about having a champion in town.
Oh, absolutely. A lot of traffic on the way. That's why I'm a little bit late. Sorry about that. But yes, there was such excitement over at Windsor Terrace, and I thought it was pretty neat to see him so animated. I mean, he's, been a wonderful guy giving the interviews, but he had the fist up in the air.
And the faces he was making with the kids.
Listening to Kylie DeBrown when she was reading the poem, talking about Tyson, and he was doing that kind of thing. So that was neat to see him. You mentioned he was at the station last night. We got a chance to meet Buster, and it was a thrill for us. And I was impressed with just how normal he was and just how neat he was. A nice guy.
This is not the first championship parade that Buster Douglas has ever ridden in our town. We went back through the archives and realized that he rode in 1977 with the Lyndon McKinley high school basketball champions, and Barry Katz was the man to point this out to the champ.
Oh, this is the Dave Starkey.
No. Do you remember this?
There you go, John. Jerry Pace.
No.
Lyndon McKinley.
There you go.
1978.
That's right. Now, wait a minute. Can you pick yourself out in here?
I don't know.
Now, wait a minute. Here we go.
There I am, right there. Boom.
That's you right
Boom.
there.
Yeah, because that's right, man. That's me. That was great, man. That was a big day for us, man. We're in the state championship. Number 2 in the country, baddest team in the land. I've been a champion all my life, man. I've been associated with champions, and people don't know that, The boxing critics don't know anything about that. They don't know you. The only thing they go by is what they see in the ring, and that's why they call them upsets, We never knew. We never doubted nobody in my camp doubted my ability. They never doubted I'd go in there and do the right things, apply myself accordingly. I'd take Mike Tyson out. Been a champion all my life. Being associated with champions all my life, man.
And this is your second parade tomorrow.
And this is my second parade. Hey.
Thanks, champ. Appreciate it. Okay.
All right. It's all right, man.
Trip down memory lane for the champ, huh?
That's it.
What did I tell you? Did you like seeing that?
Yeah, nice suit on in.
Yeah.
A nice suit on there, too. There's a Skycam picture of the parade moving west on Broad Street.
That was 12 years ago, that Lyndon parade, and things were a little bit different then. James Douglas was a reserve forward on that championship team. He was not the star of the show, but he certainly is the star of the show today. Jerry Revish last night was at the Touchdown Club, and he used a line that has kind of stuck with me.
A great line.
Jerry said that in years past, James Douglas couldn't have afforded a ticket to the Touchdown Club, and last night, he owned the place.
All eyes were on him. Buster also said to us last night that one thing that was really important for him was that he was a role model in person for the kids here in Columbus. He wasn't somebody from another city that they could look up to and not really know personally, but he was somebody right here, and that's why he is in this parade today enjoying himself, despite the fact that he forgot his gloves. He could have worn boxing gloves.
If you're looking carefully at the picture and you see that earphone dangling from the champ's right ear, that was our attempt to have him talk back directly with us, but he is absolutely so overwhelmed with people all around him that that's proven to be impossible. It's been an exciting time downtown today, and I think the champ is cherishing this moment. He's in no particular hurry to get down to City Hall. When he gets here, however, I want to tell you, he's going to find a whale of a crowd of people.
I
was out here about an hour ago.
About
an hour ago, Dana, and there probably weren't 30, 40 people here, and now there are hundreds. They have literally closed off Front Street in front of City Hall, and I'm not real sure how the parade is going to make its way around City Hall, but we're told the ceremony will start here at around noon straight up, and among the highlights will be the song put together from John Johnson's daughter. She is going to sing, Mary Kay Winter is going to sing the song that she composed and will perform for the champ. So
we'll hear it live here. That'll be great. Yes, and they are ready. They are ready here on the steps of City Hall. And like you said, they've closed off. There are people all along Front Street here. They are hanging from the garage here also.
We have an overhead shot I think we can take to show you just what it looks like here in front of City Hall. And there's a pretty good picture from the 3rd floor of the parking garage across the street showing a swell of people here to say thanks to the champ. There have been a couple of other parades. They're saying hi to Dana, too. There have been a couple other parades downtown for Columbus heroes. Jack Nicklaus got a parade, and then not too many years ago, Bobby Rahal got a parade after winning the Indy 500. But James Buster Douglas is certainly in select company, and we will be back with more of today's ceremonies on Buster winning it all after these words.
Don't go away. be. Let's go to Dave Kaler on Broad Street.
I want to tell you, Dana and Bob, it's bedlam down here on Broad Street. Buster just went by. He's headed for you. What do you think of this?
It's great. It's great. I'm freezing out here, but it's great. Hi, Mom. Yeah, he is bad. Hi, Mom.
What do you think?
I think it's great.
Think it's great?
Yeah, we get to see Buster up close.
Seeing Buster up close. That's what it's all about here. You know, one of the things I've noticed about the crowd here, it's a relatively young crowd. We don't see a lot of the older folks. We hope they're home watching this, but it's a young crowd that has come home now to greet the champion. Of course, we have all these dignitaries and these limousines, if you can see, that are still in the parade. But they are, they're not, nobody's paid much attention to them. Buster's down at Broad and High right now. All of these people with their roses and their carnations and their signs. It's Buster Douglas Day in Columbus. We have been covering this story all week long, and yes, we had a heavyweight world champion in our town. But Bob and Dana, I don't think I realized that until today. Columbus does have a world heavyweight boxing champion in its town today, right?
Columbus, I'm so excited and glad to be here. Buster has done it. He has proved to the world that he is the world champion. All right, Columbus, we didn't. Columbus did not receive him well. They did not receive him when he left. We did not think he could do it.
But we made up for it today?
Yes, we have. And I think that Columbus, Ohio should be able to have the fight here in our city. I hope we can do it, and we all need to go from today.
Let's see if we can get a shot of the band coming down here. This is the Lyndon McKinley High School band, and of course, it was back in 1978 that James Buster Douglas was a graduate of Lyndon McKinley High School in Columbus, Ohio. And they were chosen to perform in this band today, in this parade today. James Buster Douglas, Columbus, Ohio. What does the other sign say? For the love of it all, that's what it says. The pride of Lyndon McKinley, James Buster Douglas.
Hey, Dave. Dave, you know that that lady made a very good point when she said we didn't give him a very good send-off, but we're making a nice welcome home.
Yeah.
The fact is, when Buster Douglas left to go to Tokyo about 10 days before the fight, 100 people showed up at a Northside auto dealership for his send-off party. Right. Contrast that with what's happened today and what's happened out at the airport the other day.
Look at a swell of people moving on Front Street, which means the champ can't be too far away. I'm holding a flower. You might have noticed that woman had a flower. The City Parks and Rec Department was handing out carnations at Windsor Park, so a great feeling for everyone. And Bob, here they all come.
I'll tell you what, we're almost being swallowed up by people as people are leaving the parade route, coming into our location at City Hall, where the champ will be formally honored at noon straight up. We will be back with more of Buster winning it all after these words.
Buster Douglas, the world heavyweight champion from Columbus, Ohio.
Isn't it fun to say that?
Yeah, I like saying that. The parade just ended. They're what am I trying to say?
Whisking to
the City Hall building, and then he'll be out. So we'll have that for you live in a few minutes.
You know, it's interesting. Originally, the parade route was to have Buster Douglas come right up Front Street, but the crowd is really so big that they made a quick turn and they brought him down the backside of Gay Street. The plan is this. Buster Douglas is going to go inside, meet with some of the officials. There'll be about a 10-minute wait before they come out onto the podium. Barry Katz will be taking part in the ceremony. And there you see from overhead, from our Skycam shot, right there at the corner of Front and Broad, right just almost over top of us. And look at that mass of people filling Front Street. Now, this is the second big party for Buster Douglas. This, by far, is the largest. But the first one was perhaps more spontaneous, and it happened on Monday when he came home from Tokyo, and Keith Cate was at Port Columbus.
Crowding together atop 2 levels of the airport parking garage and blending into a mass of ground support, fans of James Buster Douglas welcomed home the new heavyweight champion of the world. With a humble wave to his confetti-covered fans, this hometown hero appeared in awe of the crowd before him. Less than a couple of weeks ago, few gave him the chance of even going a couple of rounds against Iron Man Mike Tyson. Now he stands before us with evidence he did much more than that. There are those, however, who stood by him all along. Got the boxing gloves back here. Why are you carrying boxing gloves?
Because I was going to have Buster sign them. I met Buster before he went to Tokyo. I was one of the few that said he had a chance.
Strangely enough, this isn't the only person to say something like that.
I bought this Thursday evening, and he is the champ. I believed in him when he left here, and I believed in him when he came back.
Monday's homecoming means a lot not only to James Buster Douglas, but to all of Columbus, the city with a new champion, a champion we are all proud to call our own. Keith Cate, Eyewitness News.
We means a lot of people this afternoon. It's 5 after 12, and I don't see much grass left because it's covered with people here at
yeah,
City
what
Hall.
grass? There are a couple of shrubs here too big to sit on. You know, kind of an amusing point, at least it's funny to me. I'm sure the radio stations won't think it's funny, but among the 30 units in the parade are a number of promotional wagons for radio stations around town. They all want a piece of the action, like all of us do. But they were at the end of the parade, and I'm not sure anybody's paying any attention at all.
Well, we helped one radio station's cause because they were pulling a trailer around congratulating Buster and had some call letters on there, too.
Well, I think everybody saw the call
Everybody's
letters.
getting a piece of the action
Those
today.
were WNCI, but I just saw a QFM 96. They had a banner overhead that said, "Buster, you beat his butt," which I think is about as graphic as you can make. The crowd really getting hepped up now. Because
this is the Assistant Director of Recreation and Parks Department.
That's correct. And he's hyping the crowd, telling people that it's about 1 minute till Buster emerges. He's also urging safety because there really is a crush of people. People now, if you can believe it, are all the way across the street, I would say 40, 50 deep, all the way over to the Levesque Tower. And this is the largest downtown celebration I have ever witnessed here.
Same here, same here. And I mean, I was here when he played at Lyndon McKinley and the different high school parades there have been. This is so much bigger because this touches so many more lives. And they're chanting Buster, Buster right now. They want him to come out, but it's going to be a few moments.
Let's just take a listen and maybe with our overhead view get a shot at just what this crowd is all about. Barry Katz will be one of the three MCs on the program this afternoon. And as the crowd cheers for Buster, they want him to come out, but you heard the spokesman say he's not going to come out till he's assured of two things: that everybody's under control and everybody's energized and ready for this day.
Is
now that's a
energized?
tough combination, huh?
And he's not the only person who's coming out, and I doubt he'll be the first either. The mayor, of course, will say some things. Representative Ray Miller, who is representing Governor Celeste, who is not here today, so a little bit of from all different parts of the city.
Jerry Hammond, also the council president, and Gene Watts, representing the Franklin County delegation to the State House. This is a day that you didn't have to ask anybody twice if they wanted to be involved.
No, and I think it's also a day where you don't say what party are you in, doesn't matter what color you are, because this is a day for feeling good about something someone did, somebody who a lot of people didn't think he could do it. So it's just a real good feeling day.
You hear the crowd now again calling for Buster. Buster, it's a little bit like famous movie stars when one name says it all. He doesn't need a last name, does he?
I wonder if he has decided to go more with the Buster now instead of the James because of that. What do you think?
Well, you know, that's an interesting story. Young in his fight career back in 1980, 1981, he was known as Buster Douglas in the local gyms. But in an effort, I think, to gain some respect and to put some dignity in his title fight, he wanted to be called James Douglas. But soon after the championship fight, he started calling himself Buster Douglas.
It's funny also, I noticed last night when he was on Larry King Live, and I've noticed this with other fighters too, they sort of speak about themselves in the third person. James Douglas isn't ready for this. James Buster Douglas did that. I thought that was kind of interesting.
You know, he raises the point, and John Johnson raises the point about the potential of a fight in Ohio Stadium. Is that really a likelihood or not? No, it's not a likelihood. Is it a potential? Absolutely. Here's the deal. John Johnson was telling us last night and through the week, whoever comes up with the best financial package, the best television package, we will fight it at that location, be it Las Vegas, Atlantic City, or Ohio Stadium. I'm talking about a rematch with Mike Tyson. Of course, there are a lot of variables, like Evander Holyfield, the #1 contender, wants a piece of this action.
Right.
And Don King, and this is noteworthy, Don King, the manager of Mike Tyson, says, I'm a Buckeye. I'll fight it in Ohio Stadium. Put up the purse. Buster's the champ. If he says be there, we'll be there.
Do you think Don would be welcomed here, though, a lot? We don't know. You know, success is something that can have different effects on different people. What do you think success has done to James Buster Douglas? Let's hear from him. What does success mean to Buster?
And I just thought of one thing, and I was going in there and beating Mike Tyson, you know, winning the heavyweight championship. I never thought about everything that goes along with it. It's, you know, it was just secondary. You know, and that's how it's always going to remain, secondary. My main objective is to go in there and just be the best fighter that I can be. You know, give you what you come out to see. It's a trip, you know, it is. It's a total takeout.
Arsenio, Carson, Letterman, Costas call. I mean, everybody wants you.
You know, and that was something that I had thought about. You know, one day being on Arsenio Hall's show. You know, and all that's coming true, man. It's like living a dream, you know. But it won't be a distraction. Not at all.
You're looking now at a live picture of the door at City Hall. This is important because it's through this portal that the champion will pass to meet the crowd. We're having a bit of a problem here in that the crowd is so large and everybody with very good intentions trying to get close enough to see the champ that they've really crowded in. And the safety people here are a little bit concerned that they don't want to begin until everything is really orderly. I'm not sure that's a doable thing.
Once again, yes, they've said safety first. Safety is the most important thing. There's Gene Watts and Ray Miller are standing there, and a police officer, Carl Barth, who's in charge of traffic and safety and during events like this, is up there. Still, yes, trying to get everything settled and just right for the champ to come out.
One thing that's interesting is there was a protective tarp, a clear plastic tarp wrapped around the podium, which was to protect the champ and everyone else in event of bad weather. Obviously, we're not going to have any rain, and now because of the crowd, so many people are behind the stage that they're taking that tarp down now that the people behind will have a little better look. Let's take a look there from Skycam, and that probably tells it better than words just how large this crowd is. The building there with the green roof, of course, City Hall, and there you can see the parking garage right across the street. That is Front Street.
How about that little white thing almost in the center? I think that's
the top of the stage.
That's where
right
Buster
there
will be.
But that shows you just exactly how big the crowd is. Again, they're talking safety first.
What did he say? Just let's don't scare
He said,
him?
let's not scare him. Yeah, I'm not sure anybody can scare him.
I don't think so.
You know,
if he wasn't scared of Mike Tyson, he won't be scared of all
that's
of
a
us,
good point.
right?
The delightful thing about this guy, Buster Douglas, is that he is such a human being in the sense that this hasn't gone to his head in any fashion. A funny moment happened at LaGuardia in New York when he was going up a couple of days after the championship. He's walking through the airport and people start to stop him and ask for autographs, and they're trying to mob him, and he couldn't figure out why until he kind of did one of these and said, I'm the heavyweight champion of the world. Oh yeah, me,
It's me.
Buster Douglas.
Oh, there's a sign right over here. I don't know, Drew, if you can get a picture of this. It says, Buster, the Buckeye, knocked the pulp out of the apple.
I think that's exactly
You
right.
have another one, too. Hold it nice and still for us. Buster, 1990, #1, KO'd Tyson. What is that at the bottom? The pigeon! Holy mackerel, next it's Holyfield.
Yeah,
A lot of
very
people
good.
yes, creative sides there. A lot of people are bringing their signs. If they can't scream, they've got a sign. Maybe Buster will see it.
Evander Holyfield, of course, just if you're not a real big boxing fan, and a lot of people, frankly,
I
aren't
wasn't
that much
before
into
this.
boxing, this has
Didn't
just
know.
kind of energized people. Evander Holyfield is the officially ranked #1 contender, recognized by the WBC, the WBA, and also the IBF. And he has a contract that says he is guaranteed a fight within 4 months against the winner of the Tyson-Douglas fight, which would mean the fight would have to be in June. That's where all that speculation was, that Donald Trump would put together the fight in June. However, Buster Douglas's people have said we're not going to fight in June, we're going to fight in September, and it's not a done deal. It's not necessarily Holyfield. It might be Mike Tyson. But what's it like to be the heavyweight champion of the world? What's it like to be around Buster Douglas for a day?
What's it like to come to something like this and see all these people looking at you?
Here's a little profile piece, a background look at Buster Douglas for a day.
Oh, Buster's life has changed. Buster's, John Johnson's, and the entire Douglas entourage, for that matter. Everyone wants to see the new world champion. Inside the Johnson residence, you wonder if life will ever be the same. They have every local and major TV, radio, and newspaper in the country trying to get in touch with the champ.
We're going to go fight wherever James Douglas makes the most money.
You really can't imagine how busy this house was. You think you could imagine, but you really can't imagine how often.
I can't imagine how much his phone has been ringing.
Like I said, you can't imagine.
You can't prepare for something like this. I have my doubts at times, but you know, housewives do. All they can think of is bills, getting the bills paid, and we did a lot of sacrificing. And
Well, see, this is not my house. This is my manager's house. See, I can leave here. You know, I'll be right behind you guys.
But of course, there are some benefits to being a national celebrity.
we acknowledge the fact that Buster Douglas put on a brilliant performance. The man was magnificent, and it indicated...
That's right there. It's just, you know, as you were seeing, I was looking at the television just smiling because, you know, with some things that was coming out of Don King's mouth that I thought I would never hear.
Mike Gleason, Eyewitness Sports.
All right, there's James Buster Douglas coming out of City Hall.
The music has started. The crowd's just going nuts. James Buster Douglas, along with John Johnson.
There.
Yeah, wearing the traditional red hats, kind of their trademark.
Coach boxing team. John Johnson first, and he is happy, dancing. There's Buster waving.
By the way, the song you hear being played there is being performed live, at least the vocal. That's Mary Kay Winter singing Winning It All,
and
John Johnson's daughter. This song getting a lot of play on radio stations, and it has also been requested for some of the big national talk shows. So, in a sense, kind of a breakthrough for young Mary Kay Winter, too. But look at Buster Douglas, kind of soaking it up, waving to the crowd, just having a great time as the heavyweight champ of the world.
He really looks like he's also making a good effort to wave it to as many people as he can and say thank you for being here, thank you for supporting me.
As you look at the stage and you see the champ there waving, the man in the foreground, actually just behind him, is J.D. McCauley. Well, now we're on an overhead shot, but as we come back, I'll explain who this is. Look at the size of that crowd, Dana. Just amazing. The champ is leaning over, trying to wave to people in the parking garage across the street, and taking his time as his theme song, Winning It All, plays out.
Mayor Reinhardt, one reason why they wanted this parade, I think you said earlier on Saturday, was for the national television exposure. And believe me, our tape will be fed to the network. And there are some people from other stations, other cities and networks.
And NBC and CBS
are here.
And CNN are all here.
Are here.
And look at John Johnson, really getting the crowd into it. This is a guy who was probably the #1 guy to sign on with Buster Douglas as a supporter years ago. And he said, I believe from the beginning. What a payoff. We have Dom Taberry somewhere in this swell of people. Dom, can you hear us?
Bob, I'll tell you what, I've seen a lot of celebrations, but none that match this. I came up the Broad Street along with the parade right in front of it, and it was absolutely incredible. It took me forever to get here to this camera. I've never seen this many people. They're enthusiastic, they're wild. What brings you down here tonight?
Oh man, you gotta celebrate old Buster from Columbus. It's the best thing that's happened to Columbus in a long time in sports. Bengals can't do it, Browns can't do it, wish they could. Right here we got a champion, Columbus.
And everyone loves Buster Douglas. And you know the one thing about this guy, Bob, and I made the point last night, it's near impossible not to like this guy. I mean, you know, a lot of people might think this guy would be getting big-headed, but he is just a real sweetheart and a great guy. Bob and Dana?
All right, thanks very much, Dom. Well, the ceremonies are just about to begin here with all of the speeches, and we don't want to miss what Buster Douglas has to say to this crowd of thousands. So we will be back in a minute with Buster winning it all. Stay right there. To Buster winning it all. This is Bob Orr along with Dana Tyler live today with our 10 TV coverage. And there from Skycam you can see perhaps the biggest street party ever held in Columbus, Ohio, to celebrate Columbus's #1 favorite son, James Buster Douglas, the undisputed, and that's a nice word, heavyweight champion of the world. Thanks for being with us today. This has just been a happening, for lack of a better way to describe it. It's almost overpowering.
It seems like it has been a long time, you know, more than just a week since this all started, since Buster's life has changed, and really since Columbus's life has changed from what we are known as. We have somebody else here to say, yes, I'm from Columbus, Ohio, and I did something wonderful. And take a look at us. And what a week, though, it has been for Buster Douglas. Take a look at a hectic week in the life of Columbus's own heavyweight world champion.
From the time Tyson hit the canvas to the sound of the bell ending the fight, Columbus's James Buster Douglas was off and running. On Monday in Chicago at O'Hare Field, he was mobbed by fans and reporters. Already, he told us, he was feeling the effects.
And then I'm tired from the fight, too.
A few hours later, close to 2,000 greeted him here at Port Columbus. Friends, relatives, and school kids all wanted a chance, not just to see the champ, but the man who knocked out Mike Tyson. On Tuesday, Douglas hit pay dirt. The WBA and WBC officially named him World Heavyweight Champion. That came just in time for Douglas to get the Chambers Ambassador Award. On Wednesday, Buster was up early, fighting again, this time through autograph seekers at Port Columbus on his way to the Big Apple. There, the scenes don't change either. Our Tom Berman reported live from New York. People want a piece of the champ, who carries with him the rags to riches story. Tonight, it's David Letterman.
Well, congratulations again.
It's CBS's Night Watch. On Thursday, it's Buster Douglas's first encounter with Tyson at a taping session for HBO. Then it's back home, where he makes it back just in time for a live interview on our 6 o'clock news. Friday, it was more business. Douglas and manager Johnny Johnson could be found in their attorney's office in Westerville going over multi-million-dollar promotional offers. But has Buster Douglas even thought about how he's going to spend his money? He says he hasn't. But wait a minute.
Boat, nice boat.
Cruiser or a fishing boat?
Yeah, cruiser.
Queen Elizabeth?
Calls it Cadillac.
Pacific
Trump,
Prince, something like that.
Last week, we all saw it with our own two eyes. We all saw James Buster Douglas knock out Mike Tyson. Of course, Mike Tyson only saw it with one eye. And the next time those two meet again, somebody ought to tell Tyson to bring those sunglasses. He's gonna need them again. And now representing the city of Columbus in the Ohio General Assembly, State Senator Eugene Watts. It's the first resolution I've
That was Barry Katz interviewing, or rather introducing Gene Watts, representing the Franklin County group here of the state legislators. Trying to listen to Gene Watts out of one ear and talk to you out of the other side.
Yeah, after you saw Dave's package about how busy Buster's week was. Last night he was at Channel 10. He was on Larry King's show live via satellite. Tomorrow they're leaving for Las Vegas, then for Los Angeles, and Buster will be on Johnny Carson and I'm sure some other national shows too.
Just to clarify, a short time ago, Ray Miller was introduced as the representative of the governor, and the crowd kind of booed and wondered why Dick Celeste wasn't here.
He would be.
In all fairness, I'm sure he would be here, but he is in Europe on a trade mission. Shortly, we will hear from Mayor Reinhardt, who I think, what did he say out at Windsor today? He said, everyone's asked me, what does James Buster Douglas mean to Columbus? He says, it's simple. He's our hero.
He's everything. He's our hero. What does he mean, though, to a lot of companies out there, companies wanting to put a name on a product? Well, it means a homeboy, number one homeboy here. And Buster will say he's that too, a homeboy who is number one here in Columbus.
I think if there were an election being held right now, Buster Douglas could win just about anything he wanted to.
Candidate, check your, put a check mark right. But anyway, what I was getting to was about the marketing. What happens to Buster Douglas? All right, we'll get to that. We'll get to that a little bit later. As a Skycam picture, the green building, the green roof building on the right is City Hall. All those people there chanting again for Buster.
Here's Barry Katz leading the crowd in cheers.
Champion of the world. And now, ladies and gentlemen, City Council President Jerry Hammond. Go on, Buster. I simply am going to say, you know, Buster's not only the champion of the world, he is a hero. And the great thing about being a hero is the opportunity to show grace and dignity. This champion has grace and dignity, and we're proud of it.
City Council President Jerry Hammond, along with Councilman Ben Espy, handing him yet another resolution, this time from the city of Columbus. And in a few minutes, we are going to have Buster Douglas, and the snow's starting to fall here, too.
You know,
so
I think the
we'll be
crowd's
suited up.
getting a little impatient. Well, this just adds to the flavor of the day.
Yes.
It's a crisp, cool February day. Actually, more than cool, it's cold.
It's freezing.
But Buster Douglas is picking up just proclamation after proclamation. The governor gave him one, obviously. The city's going to give him one. Right now, the world is Buster Douglas's oyster, no doubt about
And
it.
I really do believe that it does mean something to him. It means something to him that he said last night, I worked so hard, I kept at it even when things were bad, even when things were down in my life, I was dedicated. I was dedicated. Right now, Columbus Mayor Dana Reinhardt, let's hear from him.
For Columbus, Ohio. 1 week ago tonight, the course of athletic history was changed. A week ago tonight, a young man who was given little chance of seeing an hour of victory showed the world what it means to enjoy the triumph of the human spirit, because Buster Douglas put Tyson on his back and brought Columbus up in the eyes of the world. You should know, if you don't know, you should know that this man is far more than a boxer. He's a devoted father to Lamar. He cherishes his entire family, including his grandmother who's with us today. I'd like for her to stand up, and I want Lamar to stand up. These people are also heroes. If you're going to have a hero, we all want that person to stand for the very best. Buster Douglas worked day and night, week after week, month after month, year after year, to have one chance to make a dream come true. Today, Buster, Columbus, Ohio, shares your victory. We love your spirit. We love what you stand for. These thousands of people out here are proud that you brought home the gold to Columbus, Ohio. One of the places that Buster Douglas trained, besides our city recreation centers, was the Salesian Boys Club. And as Mayor of Columbus, it gives me a great deal of pleasure to present a proclamation from the Salesian priests to Buster Douglas. Ladies and gentlemen, as Mayor of the City of Columbus, I am honored to proclaim February 17th, 1990 as James Buster Douglas Day in Columbus, Ohio. Ladies and gentlemen, now the moment you've been waiting for. It gives me a great deal of pleasure, and I'm honored to present to you the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, James Buster Douglas. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out today, showing their support and appreciation. It's a great honor. And Columbus made the best of it, baby. And as Mayor Reinhardt said earlier, I couldn't have did it without the support
of Columbus, my family, coach boxing team, I love you. And that really makes me feel good to see all you out here today. I'd just like to thank the Lord Jesus Christ for giving me the strength to weather the storm. Thank you.
The man there on Buster's right, your left as you look at it, is John Johnson, the man we've talked about who is the manager.
I'd like to introduce
And you
to
heard
a
the
man
mayor,
that's
well, let's listen to Buster.
very instrumental in James Douglas's career, my manager and friend, John Johnson.
What I'd like to do, there's some very important people on this stage to us. About 5.5 years ago, we sat down in my living room and we came up with a dream. And that dream, of course, now has come true. But I want to introduce the special people in our lives that have been with us since we were on the bottom, since we were at the bottom of the mountain and just starting to climb that mountain. The first gentleman I would like to introduce is a gentleman who brought James to my home, who has been a wonderful, wonderful friend, and he's also James's uncle, and he's also our head trainer, Mr. J.D. McCauley. I don't know whether you could hear or not, but the other night, that real loud voice you could hear, that was J.D. McCauley. I lost my voice in about the 5th round, and I was talking to J.D. to yell for me too, you know. The next gentleman I would like to introduce was in our living room that day, and I asked him to be there because I felt that if we needed any help, this man would be there to help us. And he did, and we love him dearly, Mr. Orrin Holman. Mr. Holman. The other gentleman that I went to see because I knew we would need legal advice and so on, and with both these people, please, this is the approach. I said, look, we don't have any money, neither one of us, but we have a dream. And I believe that if you can help us with this dream, James Douglas will become the heavyweight champion of the world. Our attorney, Mr. Steve Enns. The next man I'd like to introduce joined us about 2.5 months ago, and what a wonderful job he's done. He was the man in front of James Douglas, and he did a great job, Mr. John Russell, co-trainer, John Russell. Also, I'd like to introduce a young man that has done a great job for us, and he's actually John and JD's assistant, Tracy Winter. Also, there's a couple gentlemen here with us that got in there every day with James Douglas and acted like Mike Tyson. They were told, look, when you get in the ring, you got to have Mike Tyson's mentality. You have to do everything like Mike Tyson. And they did a fantastic job. And I want to introduce our sparring partners from Chicago, Illinois, young Joe Lewis. And from Charlotte, North Carolina, Fred Whitaker. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a coach boxing team. Ladies and gentlemen, we love you. We're just everyday, hardworking, honest, God-loving. And I'll tell you, as James said, the reason we beat Mike Tyson is because we believe in Jesus Christ. We believe in God. And Mike Tyson is just another man. He was just another man. And what you're going to look forward to in the future, we're getting ready to go to Las Vegas and do some things. Of course, you're going to see him. James Douglas is now considered the most second person in the world, and pretty soon he's going to be the most recognized. But let me make a point, and I thought of this morning, and I believe it with all my heart. And I thought about all the heavyweight champions of the world. And when I think about all of those individuals, and I think about that position, I have no doubt that James Douglas, because of the wonderful, caring person that he is the greatest heavyweight champion ever. James Buster Douglas. Again, thank you very much. James has some, we're usually behind schedule. We have been behind schedule, and we have a place we have to go. But again, thank you all very much for coming, and we love you. We love Columbus. Thank you.
John Johnson, James Buster Douglas's manager, doing most of the talking there, but I think that's the way James wanted it. John introduced a lot of the people whose names you may have seen in the paper. We got to associate a face with it. The woman in the white hat standing with Buster is Buster's grandmother, and little boy, of course, Lamar, Buster's 11-year-old son.
What a proud kid he has to be.
Oh, can
to
you
have your dad
imagine?
be the heavyweight champ, and a good dad to boot.
I asked the principal how he handles it, and he said he's a normal kid. He's a normal kid. Hasn't been there every day since the fight, though, either.
You can see from the overhead camera taken from the third floor of a parking garage across the street, people now starting to disperse, but this is going to take a little while. This has been something close to a civic love fest today.
And it is a real people jam up there as they go back into City Hall. A lot of white hats, a lot of Columbus police officers
That sign says it all, too. There's no doubt Buster knocked out Mike Tyson. You know, there was some doubt for a couple of days, not whether he knocked him out,
all about that.
but whether he did it within boxing's regulations. That was quickly dismissed. That's caused a little bit of bad blood between Don King and John Johnson and Buster Douglas, because Don King has the promotional campaign, or the contract, I should say, for Buster's next 5 fights. So that's one of the recurring themes. We'll have to see whether that rift is healed or not, but today belongs to James Buster Douglas.
And we'll be right back on Buster Winning It All on 10 TV Live right after this.
Good luck getting home out of this crowd. Dom Tameri's in the middle of the crowd. Let's go to Dom.
Well, Dan and Bob, things are starting to thin out. You know, if there's any indication of this crowd today and what it might mean, you know, there's talk about bringing the fight here to Columbus. James and John Johnson said that they're trying to work on a deal that would bring it. You look at this crowd today, and you would have to think there would be support. We've got some people here. Excuse me. What would it mean to you to have the fight come here, James's next one?
It'll mean the world to me, because I grew up in Columbus, and I love Columbus. It's a great city to be in.
All right, very good. So we'll just have to wait. It's going to be interesting the next few months, as you said, Bob, to see what happens between Don King and the Douglas camp, and we'll keep an eye on it. Dan and Bob?
All right, thanks a lot, Dom.
This has been a great day, huh?
You know, Saturdays, all right? We work Monday through Friday, and when they said, do you want to be a part of the parade? At first, we're like, well, yeah, even though it's on a Saturday, this is exciting. It was a really good time to be out here.
The most overpowering theme that keeps running through my mind is 1 week ago at this hour, almost nobody in the world knew who James Buster Douglas was. And now, as John Johnson says, he's the second most recognized person in the world. I don't know if that's quite the case, but he's certainly on the way up. And it's great to have Columbus, the home of a champion, and we thank you for being with us
Yes,
today.
Thank you for being with us. We'll have more on Buster Winning It All, the big homecoming celebration on Eyewitness News tonight at 6 o'clock. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been a great day.
And have a good weekend.
Bye-bye.